We have just gotten to the plot. I didn't know what this book was about going into it, buying it. Like, I changed as a person. Friend group is just incestuous. Like, it's just... Hi you guys. Hi. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla, and in today's video I am basically reading a bunch of my physical TBR because it's towards the end of the year and I realize that I haven't finished my 25 books to read in 2025, and majority of those books are on my physical TBR. So I was like, we'll knock two birds with one stone. We'll read books off of my TBR and read books off of my 25 books to read in 2025. I am coming from you after I've already recorded this video, I've read all the books, and I would say that this video, the books that I read, is like successful, unsuccessful. The first one is a hit, and the rest of them kind of were mid. So, the books that I read in this video are... So the first book that I read in this video is Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, which is the fourth book in Magnolia Park's universe by Jessa Hastings, and this was the hit. This was really good. But then I read Wisteria by Adeline Grace, which is the third book in, I don't know what the series is called, I think it's just called Belladonna, and this was mid. It was mid. I'll let you guys know my actual thoughts. And then I read The Wedding Witch, which was also mid. Maybe Daisy Hates gave me a reading hangover, and that's why these two books that have really good Goodreads rating were a flop in my eyes, but I guess you'll find out. I'll pass you along to previous me, see what my feelings were and my thoughts on the books live. So I'll see you back in the outro. So the first book in this video of reading my physical TBR is Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, and I have been putting this off since when it was published, and that was, I think, 3 years ago, 2022. Like, I first got on this when it first was getting released, 2022. So it's been 3 years that I've been putting this off, and I'm finally doing it. It's also part of the 25 books that I want to read in 2025, so I'm glad that I'm getting to it. But it's not as bingeable as I remember it being. I remember not wanting to put the series down at all. Like, I remember sobbing, crying, reading all the quotes, and it resonating with me and thinking that it was like the most beautiful sentence in the entire world, but it's just not hitting the same. Like, I'm still eating up the drama. I love the drama. Oh, let me just cut this real quick, because if you don't know what the series is about, A, have you been living under a rock, and B, I can't tell you much about this book because it is possibly the third book in the series, and there's two kinds of books in this series. You have Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. Magnolia Parks is what everybody is obsessed with because she's like the fashion person in this group. She and BJ have a special connection. That is the main female lead in that book. But I prefer the Daisy Hates size of thing because it's more like mafia, but still rich, enjoys art, and it's like a sibling relationship. But Julian hates. I'm starting to like Daisy a little bit more in this book, but I love Julian ever since, I guess, I loved him in that first book with Magnolia Park. It's like I got like little bits of cameo, little bits of Julian, and I loved him. I loved him even more with the other Daisy Hates book, and I love him. Love him even more in this book. I don't know how to explain his character. He just is a protector. He loves people. He does not wear his heart on his sleeve, but when he cares about you, he deeply cares about you. And it's just, ugh. Like, I want to meet Julian and I want to give him a big fat hug. It doesn't make me cry. It is not bingeable. I've been reading this for quite a while. Like, I keep picking it up and putting it down and going on my phone. Like, it doesn't hold my attention as it used to. But I'm still enjoying the drama. I love watching the drama unfold and see where it goes. But I'm now 300 pages into this book. And usually, that's what I've noticed, that with a Daisy Hates book, like Julian is in like the mafia, so there is an underlying like plot, criminal activity that happens throughout the book, and it's like very subtle, and then everything just goes to shit like towards the end of the book. And I can't wait for that to happen because I have a little over 100 pages left and I want to know where it goes. Like, I know the people in this book, nothing in this book is permanent. Nothing. Because their friend group is just incestuous. Like, it's embarrassing. I do not want to be part of this friend group. It's a little embarrassing, but love Julian. I love Daisy's character development as well as Magnolia's. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, I love this book. Not as much as I loved the previous books. Like, those previous books, like, I would die for them because I read them at the right time. But I love this one not as much as I loved those. If that makes any sense. Guys, we have so much to talk about. It has been 2 days since I last talked to you. And that's when I was talking about how I was reading Daisy Hates The Great Undoing. And honestly, when I first started reading it, I felt so disconnected. I was a little disappointed. I thought it was going to feel like, you know, like we're BFFs. Even though I haven't talked to you for a while, whenever we see each other, it feels like nothing has changed. But when I started this book, it feels like a lot has changed. It felt like I changed as a person. It didn't feel like it was going to be impactful. But boy, I was wrong. Jessa Hastings' writing kind of pulled me back into the world. Granted, it took a little bit of time for me to get invested in the characters again, but once I kind of remembered what happened in the previous book, I remembered everybody's point of view, everybody's feelings, that's when it started hitting, and I was really just invested in the characters, invested in their happiness, invested in just what happens next. And I really want a better future for Julian and Daisy. And I think I already mentioned in the previous clip that these siblings are one of my favorite books to read about because they have been through so much trauma, and even though they are continuing with the mafia, it's kind of all they know and it's the legacy they were left, and it's kind of their only connection with their parents, and so they wanted to continue with it, but it's going to end with them. And they still have like some rules, so they're kind of like criminals with morale. Not really, but they have a line that they don't cross, and that's something that I really respect. But this book, if you read the previous book, I was wrong. This is not the third book. This is the fourth book in the series. And if you read the previous book, you know what happened with Julian, and he fell in love. And you know, Julian doesn't fall in love, but he fell in love. And I really want him to be happy, but why did he fall in love with the wrong person? This is the last Daisy Hates book that we have until she publishes the next one. And I'm so sad that I don't get to read the next book. Like, it's not even out there. There's no way this is how they end. Maybe the last Magnolia Parks book, which is the 5th book in the series, the next one, is going to give us a little bit of an idea as to what happened to Julian and Daisy. But I really need their story. Like, I need it like I need air. This is why the series has like a cult following, because even though the characters are flawed, you can really feel their emotions on the page. But yeah, gave it 5 stars. That is such a long-winded rant. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I really, really love this book. This is probably one of my top 5 books. One of them is probably going to be Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, and then Bury Our Bones, The Midnight Soil, and then Wild Reverence, I think it's what it's called, by Rebecca Ross. It's her newest release. And then this one, Daisy Hates the Great Ending. It is absolutely wonderful. It's a masterpiece. If you don't like Gossip Girl, if you don't like toxic traits, if you don't like following, I don't know, they have first world problems. If you don't like reading about that, you're not going to like the series, but I absolutely loved it. And then I started reading Wisteria by Adeline Grace, and maybe I just waited too long to read this because I don't like it as much as the first 2 books in the series, which is Belladonna and Foxglove, I believe. And that's because those 2 are following Cigna and Death, and now we are following Blythe. We're following Blythe and Fate. And I don't want to say too much because this is the last in the trilogy, but I know that it's going to be a hate to love situation. And I don't know if I like it very much because it's not truly hate to love. There is an undercurrent. They have a past that will change things. I'm not there yet, and I'm like 288 pages in, and they don't love each other just yet. They still hate each other, but there's kind of some passion in there that they haven't even explored. I think this might be YA, so I don't think it's going to be on page, but it is setting up to be a 3 to 4 stars, maybe like 3.5. I don't like Blythe as a character. I'll say that. I don't like Fate either. Eris, whatever. I don't like him. He's really arrogant. He hasn't shown me his sweet side, his thoughtful side. I don't know. But I was on Goodreads, and this has really good ratings. I think, yeah, it has 4.22 stars, which is kind of crazy because I like the author's writing. Don't get me wrong. I love the world that she creates. It's super moody. But I don't like these 2 characters together. We'll see how it pans out. Maybe they redeem themselves in the last 100 pages. I highly doubt it. But yeah. So this week has been kind of productive reading-wise. Like, I didn't realize I was going to be able to read this many books, and it's only Wednesday. And I'm almost done with Wisteria. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so I don't think I'm going to be reading anything. But even though I think I can probably finish 3 books this week, which I haven't done in a long time. I am sorry if you can hear the laundry going off, But I wanted to give you guys an update. I finished Wisteria by Adeline Grace, and I don't know what to say because yes, I am disappointed that the trilogy ended this way. Like, I really enjoyed Belladonna and Foxglove, like I already mentioned, and I don't know. Like, I knew going into this book that I'm not going to like it because it's veering off what I loved the previous books for. But I kind of still had higher expectations because of the Goodreads rating. It was like 4.22. I know I shouldn't be judging a book based on Goodreads rating, but I did. And I'm sorely disappointed because it's only a 3 stars. Like, I still enjoyed the world and the author's writing and kind of how the plot played out. I don't like how slow it was, how the characters kind of unfolded the secrets, and I guess like the twists and turns, like that third act conflict was unnecessary. I wanted, I don't know, like a better epilogue. Like, the epilogue was kind of the resolution to the story. It wasn't a bonus chapter that I expected it to be, including Cigna and Death and all of them. But whatever. I gave it 3 stars. And now I don't know what book to read next. So I have Second Death of Locke on my library holds, and it's not technically on my physical TBR yet, but it's wrapped up and I'm going to open it on my birthday. So it is going to be on my physical TBR, but it's not quite yet. So I don't know if that counts. Or I could read The Will of the Many. Let me go grab it. Hold on. I actually decided to take you guys along. This is a mirror. We had to move the mirror because our Christmas tree had to go where the mirror usually goes. But I have The Will of the Many, and I have the original, like, first edition published version. So it's not matching the rest of the covers that are currently out. I know there's a lot of hype going around for this book because of, I mean, it is an incredible book. I know, I've heard it from, I forgot her name already, but I'll put her picture up in the screen. She read it when it first came out because she loves James Islington's writing, and so I decided to pick it up, and now there's a new cover for it and more people are talking about it, which good for him. But now I have this cover and it doesn't match the second book, which just came out this year as well. So I could read this because this has been on my physical TBR for 2-3 years now. When was this published? 2023. 2 years. So I could read this, but I'm kind of feeling a romance. So I could read The Love of My Afterlife, which is part of my 25 books to read in 2025, which would make this video kind of like a success because I'm also reading all the books that I would be reading in this book video would be 25 books off my 2025 TBR. So I could read that. I do have quite a few romance options. I just haven't been in the mood for it, so I haven't been picking it up. Maybe now is the time. Or I could read The Wedding Witch. And it's a Christmassy book. And now we're approaching December. I think this would be a good one. A nice, short, sweet book. Yeah, we'll do this. It'll be like a good mix of fantasy and romance because it is a witch. So we'll see. We'll see. hope you guys don't hear that person outside cutting grass because I have some updates. So so I've been reading this one, The Wedding Witch, on my Kindle because duh, I'm most productive reading in bed. But I am 52% into this book, and it feels like, I mean, it is. We have just gotten to the plot. I didn't know what this book was about going into it, buying it. I just know that it's like part of the Kiss Curse trilogy or world. And I assumed that I was gonna like it. And then I was reading this book and I was like, what's the plot? What is happening? And I guess there's some time traveling, and that kind of just started halfway through. So if it just started, that means it's gonna get resolved pretty quickly because it's only less than 300 pages. So I don't know what to think because we are following a male witch, which is new. I mean, I don't think I've ever read anything with a male witch before. Even in this world, I don't think there are male witches except for this book. But anyway, so we are following Bowen, who is a male witch, and he's also like a collector of artifacts, and he hired Tamsin, which is, I think she's a witch. She's an American acquirer, so she's the person who acquires the special things that Bowen wants, and they've kind of entered into a partnership where she only works for him. She only acquires items for him. And now she also took on a contract on the side for like $1 million project, and basically they're stuck in a pickle because in order to acquire that project, they ended up time traveling in the past, where they are in Bowen's past in a sense that like he's not born yet. They're in the time where his grandparents may or may not be getting married. And I think depending on how they're going to act will change the future. And so that's where we are. I don't know how I feel about it because it is confusing. Like, I don't even know if Tamsin is a witch. I assume that she is a witch, but now she may not be. I don't know. I'm just a little confused. This author's writing is really easy to read, which I enjoy, but at the same time, it's not very thorough. So I don't know. It's reading to be 3 stars, but maybe my heart is just not into it because I want to read The Will of the Many because everybody's been talking about it. So I kind of want to get on the hype train, but like I need to finish this first because I know that if I don't finish this now, I'm not going to remember anything that happened. I'm going to have to start all over again, and I don't like this book too much in order to restart it. So that's my dilemma, and it's already been a week and I can't just force myself. Oh my god, the sun is blaring, but I can't force myself to read this right now, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm headed out to Target. Welcome back. I'm in the same spot and I have finished The Wedding Witch and I gave it 3 stars. I didn't like this. I kind of felt bad because I had such high expectations. I liked the previous books because this is like an interconnected standalone series thing by Aaron Sterling, and I liked the idea. I could see why people would like this. It just didn't hit. I felt like it was confusing. There were so many characters that I couldn't keep track of. The plot wasn't very strong and the romance developed really quickly. Granted, it's less than 300 pages, so that makes sense, but like it was cringy and I don't know. I just didn't really enjoy it. I got through it, which deserves 3 stars. So that's it for this video. I read The Wedding Witch. I gave it 3 stars. I read Daisy Hates the Great Undoing and I gave that 5 stars. I read Wisteria and I think I gave this 3 stars or 3.5 stars. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you guys next time. Bye.